pretty bloody doughy. Be lucky to pull the skin off a rice pudding. Welcome back to another video, guys. Before anyone says anything, yes, it is windy outside. So I've got about 15 things going on at the moment. I am committed to keep getting these videos out to you guys. So this video is going to be a bit of a performance upgrade. So you guys already know that I've got the Safari RMAX snorkel. I've done the 3.5-inch TORQIT exhaust. So to complement those two things, I'm gonna run the TORQIT airbox. So I'll go into that, but this video is gonna comprise of the airbox install. There's gonna be a clutch install upgrade. So as we know, as soon as we put a bit of power into these things, they blow the clutch. So we will put an aftermarket upgraded clutch into it as well. And I will be taking it out to a guy who's going to tune this thing for me as well. So it's not to make bulk horsepower or anything like that. All I want is a bit of drivability to help me with the towing. So it's not going to be huge numbers, I don't expect that, but I do expect a little bit of a torque increase just to help with that drivability with these Troopies. Right, so that's what to expect from the video. Just a little bit on the airbox. So it is fully stainless steel, custom fabricated. It does hold the 200 series Land Cruiser filter. So it's good that it does use a genuine component, so I don't get stuck anywhere if I need to get another filter. The initial airbox that got sent out to me, I did have a few dramas with. So basically I took that straight back to the head office in Beresfield, which is not too far from me. We had a bit of a discussion about that and they gave me a replacement airbox. So stick around at the end of the video and I'll give you some updates on that and some tips as well, because I don't want anyone getting called out, because if I bolted that one straight into my car, then we would have had issues. So yeah, stay tuned at the end of the video for that one, guys. We'll go through that. So I'll start the install now. I'll read the instructions and then I'll rip that genuine airbox out and we'll smash this one in there and see how it goes. Righto guys, that airbox is out. So it's pretty straightforward. Just two clamps. One that goes into your intake to your engine, and then the other one on the snorkel. Then there was just 3 bolts that retains that airbox, so pretty straightforward. We'll start to fit the new one. Guys, the airbox is in. Took a lot longer than what I thought. I don't know whether it's just fiddly or I've been off the tools too long, but tomorrow's going to be fun, trying to go and find all the bloody spanners and shit that I've just pegged in the lake. But anyway, we got them in there. So yep, that bolt in there is a bit annoying. There's a bolt directly underneath, very annoying, but eventually we got it all figured out. It's all fitted in there and it looks pretty neat. So yeah, I just ended up just jamming that thing on there and stretching it out to make sure that it fits. It's all pretty tight in there, it does fit, but I just would have thought that it would have come with like a nice neat fitting hose similar to what that Safari one did. But if that's what they want you to use, so be it, just smash it in there. I did notch out that hose a little bit too, just to try and make sure I can get a nice bit of purchase on that with the clamping. But other than that, she's all tightened up, all secure, filter installed, and yeah, it looks pretty neat. But yeah, a few bloody war injuries. But yeah, as I said, probably because I've been off the tools too long. But anyway, It's all good. It's in there. Yeah, airbox install. Not much more I can tell you about that. See how it performs. Onto the clutch install. Righto guys, so you know that I've done the exhaust. Now I've done that intake housing. Now that I'm getting that engine to start flowing a little bit better, we're starting to do some power upgrades. Need to get that clutch sorted. As soon as we start bumping the power up in these things, they just blow them straight away. So that's where we're headed now. We're going up to one of my old mates' workshops up there in Maitland. Dan Burns, so he owns Diamond Mechanical Services. So he's going to throw the clutch in for me, because there's no way I'm doing it on my concrete floor at home. But he's a bit of a weapon, so we'll go up there now and we'll start throwing this clutch in. Righto legends, the clutch is in. Wasn't a bad job actually. Bloody made it handy up there with the hoist and that. But Burnsy's all over it, he's done a few of these now, so he recommended the NPC 1300 clutch. Really good quality product. It can handle the extra power getting put through these clutches, so hopefully hold up. It's got a lot lighter clutch feel, even though it is a heavy duty clutch. And the pedal feels a bit different too, so it engages a lot quicker. So I've got to get used to that. Yeah, just a tip when installing, make sure you double check all your harnesses and all your plugs. Especially the reverse sensor plug. Had a few dramas putting that back on. Me and Jonesy will have to put our hands up for that because we missed it. Burnsy had to cop the brunt of it when he had to put it back in. Not pleasant, but we got there. So Dan Burns' business, it's Diamond Mechanical Repairs up there in East Maitland, New South Wales and in Newcastle. So he generally specialises in Volkswagens, but will probably fix anything that's broken. He's pretty cluey. So if someone can't fix something, give him a call because he'll probably be able to fix it. And he's just a bloody legend as well. So if you need something done guys, give him a shout. I'm sure he'd help out. Righto, now we've sorted out the weakest link. Let's try and get some herbs under the bonnet. Righto legends, here with Matty from REMAP Solutions. So he's going to run us through what we're going to do on the dyno today. So what should we expect from the dyno today, man?
Yeah, good morning lads, how are you? This screen here is what we call our speed screen. We set what we call a tacho ratio. That gives us our start and finish speeds for the dyno. Now that is 2000 RPM is measured here, and then we set our speed up and it's 75 kilometres an hour, fourth gear, and that'll give us our tacho ratio for our start and finish speeds for our graph screen over here. Now we've already done a power run here. This is our stock run. So basically this is what we typically see from a VDJ stock, is around 100 to 115 kilowatt. This one's 105, and then torque wise is around 320 to 350, 360. So this one's pretty well on par. It's not it's going to perform well. It's not a sick car at all. Like, it's pretty good. Now we'll go over here. We'll go over here and we'll look at our air-fuel ratio. That's what we tune to. Now look, we can see here it's 22 to 1 at its lowest point in the high RPM. Now these always start off a little bit rich, like it's 19 to 1 stock. That's pretty good, but we'll come down a little bit when we do our tune run, and that's 25 to 1 in that point there. But you got to remember we're starting at 1250 RPM in fourth gear, which is a big ask, and you'll never ever do that out on the road. So that's how we do it. We'll go over and have a look at boost. So our peak pressure was 12 psi, as you can see there, and we'll start it at about 6 psi, 5.5 psi. So we'll go close to near double on this. This will be full up around 19 psi, 20 psi.
And that's generally what you'll do on these VDJs?
Yep, 100%, yeah. But anyway, let's get onto it and start tuning the big girl.
Final run's been done. So what have we done, Matty?
So here we are. This will show us, the graph will show us our stock run, our power run, our AFR and our boost. This screen here will show us our power and Newton meters of torque gained. Okay, so obviously the green line, the plotted line here is torque. Okay, so stock torque, we'll say 345 kilowatts at the rear wheels, and 107 kilowatts at the rear wheels. So we ended up with a gain here of 143 kilowatts at the rear wheels, and just on the 600 mark for Newton meters of torque, which gave us basically at 1805 RPM. If you look over here, we are 80% gain from stock. Okay, so you know it doesn't take much to get these little girls alive. They respond really, really well. Now we'll sneak over and have a look at the air fuel ratio. So the green plotted line is our stock air fuel ratio, which basically our lowest point was 21 AFR at the top of the rev range, and at the bottom of the rev range at 1440 were 18.93. So now we'll talk about our tuned one. We're at 18.24 AFR tuned at full load at 3200 RPM, and then at the beginning here was 1705, which is a good safe AFR. This obviously car has the DPF in and EGR still turned on. Now we'll talk about boost. Stock boost off the bottom is around 6 psi, and and stock boost at the top is around 12 psi. So tuned off the bottom is 15.22, and then we finished up around 20. 20 psi.
So that should give us full drivability with low RPM.
Yep. So that boost off the bottom is what makes these things go good. And it's all created from the variable nozzle turbocharger. That's the drivability of this thing will be phenomenal compared to a stock one.
So you'd suggest this for guys that want to tow caravans and boats and stuff?
Yep, 100%.
So you can adjust this to make sure that suits their needs?
Yep, 100%. So, you know, we don't have to always end up at 600 Newton meters. We can end up at 550 or, you know, 575 or something around that.
Yeah.
The earlier ones, the earlier VDJs with the early injectors, we could get more fuel in, and we could get like, you know, around 770 Newtons at the wheels. But these ones here, that's about where we get to. With,
this is it's a safe tune.
Yeah. 100%.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, thanks for your business, Benny.
No worries, bro. Yeah, if anyone needs a tune, especially one of these big cruisers, make sure you give Matty a call at REMAP Solutions out here. So it's near Cessnock, so yeah, if you live local to them, make sure you get out here and bloody give them a go. Doing well. Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
Awesome, bro.
Thank you.
What to go? Taking off in the big rig straight after the tune. What to expect? Different than big girl. I don't know, we'll give her a test here, third gear coming onto the expressway, so see if I can feel much of a difference there. Oh, just bloody pulls. Oh shit. Wow, what a difference. How good is that? Toyota. This is how these things should have come out. Right, so those issues that I had with that original intake filter housing. So if you can see here, there's like a tab and slot set up that holds that in. And it acts like a bit of a spring. So as you slide that tang into the slot and then pull the front section of this down with the bolts, essentially it creates a nice seal around the outside, but it really solely relies on that tang obviously protruding through there and then putting that pressure on there and then keeping that secure on that back end of that. Now that first one that I had, that tang wasn't sticking through then. It was only just sitting on the edge of that, no matter how you fitted that top section to the bottom section. I thought it was me initially so I played around with it just to try and make sure that it wasn't an adjustment thing, but the way it's cut out on the top of that section there to allow for the filter, it's quite precise and it needs to be like nice and snug in there, so it kind of centralizes itself. So those holes there are just elongated for tiny little differences in the fabrication, I would imagine, not for adjustment. So when I took it down to them, I got them to hold it. I put a little bit of pressure on that, and then because it's spring loaded, this whole top section of the filter pops straight off. You can imagine that if you were driving around not knowing for hundreds of kilometers in the dirt, bye bye donk. So you'll dust that big girl straight away, and that's the whole purpose that I'm putting this on, to keep it nice and secure from dust, and obviously a little bit more airflow as well. So problems there. So if you do buy these things, make sure you check all that stuff out, guys, before you're fitting them in there. The other thing was, there was a little bit of excess material inside that filter housing from fabrication process when I received it, and there was nothing in the instructions about making sure components are clean, because they've already got the filter installed and stuff like that too. So if I just fitted that straight up, I could have got metallic crap basically straight into the engine, and also it probably would have popped off at some point and then dusted the engine, so not ideal. But look, to their credit, when I had that conversation with those guys about those two problems, they were just as surprised as I was, and they were very forthcoming with it. As I said, they understood exactly where I was coming from, very apologetic about it. They're going to re-look at their processes and their quality control and make sure that they're going to be on top of that. So from an awkward situation, I suppose I'm probably a little bit lucky in the fact that I live quite close to them. Look, it still took me a couple of hours to go up there and have this discussion with them. Like if you lived in WA or something like that, obviously that's problems because you're going to have to try and get it shipped, try and explain yourself across through emails or whatever else like that. So yes, I was lucky, but hopefully they change things and this won't happen again. So, but as I said, even if they do change their processes, guys, it's your car, it's your engine. You need to look after yourself, eh? Like, check all this componentry is nice and clean before you install it. The last thing you want is having these issues when you're trying to do the right thing by the car, and then you go and inadvertently do the total opposite. So yeah, just a couple little tips there, guys. Look after yourselves and just inspect other people's work. And I know that I'm a mechanic, so I have an eye for this stuff. Try and stay diligent, guys, and if you don't know and you're unsure, just get someone that kind of knows what they're doing to come around and have a look at it, or take it to a mechanic or something like that.